Harjit Sajjan has been a commander, a Vancouver cop, and a decorated reservist in the Canadian Army, all before he got into politics. Good cred for the Defence Department. But arriving in Canada as a young boy from India, he surely didn't envision this path.
Hello!
As the newly elected MP from Vancouver South, nor this day, at 45 years old, becoming Canada's first Sikh Defence Minister. Minister, first off, tell me about the call when the Prime Minister said, "I want you for this job."
I was just truly humbled and honored, surprised, but words can't describe the feeling that I got when I was asked.
A birdie tells me that you were quite emotional.
I would say so. It's tough to get me either ramped up or even down, but for this one, it was just very humbling, and to be in this role.
I read somewhere that when you came to this country and when you were a young boy and into your teens, that you weren't sure that you ever would be in the military.
No.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I was when growing up, there was the early challenges of adjusting, and I mean, every community has it. So
what were the challenges?
I would say just little racial challenges that along the way, and so it does kind of creep into your psyche, especially when you're young.
So, given that experience, how do you approach harassment in the military? Racial comments, we've already seen some about you. How are you going to deal with that?
In any institution like the military or large organization, especially in uniform, you need the utmost professionalism, integrity, and there is absolutely, you can't stand for it. Personally though, in terms of because somebody said it doesn't faze me at all. I trust in the chain of command that it will be dealt with. Simple as that.
Minister, a lot has been said about mental health in the military. As a soldier, did you see the effects of war on fellow soldiers?
No, absolutely. But also, I see the impact of traumatic events also for first responders. I think people forget I was also a police officer for a very long time. But even when we make this choice, we need to make sure that we have the right resources and the right empathy that looks after our people, because it's needed.
Has the military been empathetic enough to this date regarding mental health?
Yes.
Did you have friends, comrades that you worked with who had mental health issues as a result of being in Afghanistan?
Regrettably, yes. People that I have worked with over the years, I have kept in touch with them, regardless of rank. And to this day, having that very close relationship, I try to do my part, or did my part. And like other people who have served, there's different mechanisms. And we also have to be open-minded to take a look at not just the academic way of helping, but the internal way that, from experience, that also matters.
Sajjan has precious little time to learn the mechanics of Parliament, let alone navigate pressing priorities, including Canada's response to ISIS and our air campaign, and coordinating a large and speedy migration of refugees.
We are ready to do our part.
What's your part?
The discussions are going on. We're getting briefed up, and the military is always ready to do our part.
People are saying, "Come on, you promised this. Now we're all waiting."
We will make
and
sure
the clock is ticking.
When the plan is in place, we will make sure we inform everybody and in a full, transparent way.
Minister, how do you describe the threat of ISIS to Canadians?
ISIS is a threat, no doubt about that. Should we fear it? No. The Canadian population should have full confidence in all their security services to keep us safe.
So the previous government believed that it was a direct threat to Canadians and we needed to actively fear it and therefore respond. Are you saying you're approaching it differently?
Yes. One, we don't need to fear it. I think we need to responsibly figure out a way. What does Canada and the military and all other government departments need to do?
As a soldier and a minister, how do you see the military's role in fighting ISIS now?
Well, first of all, is when it comes to the threat, that one, we don't go into a situation like this alone. And I want to make sure when it comes to the Canadian Armed Forces, when we bring a military option to the table, it's going to have a meaningful impact.
But the government has already decided to pull the fighter jets out. Is that the plan currently?
Yes, yeah, we will be ending the air campaign.
Have you been asked as a country by the Americans to stay on in the current commitment until the end of March?
Like I said, we're in some great discussions right now.
But have they asked you?
I want to make sure that we have good discussions with our allies before we make a decision.
But how do you see Canada's role? If we're not going to be involved in the air campaign, what are we going to do?
What to keep in mind is when we look at fighting ISIS and the overall picture, it's not just strictly about the air campaign. Training is absolutely necessary if we're going to be looking at a long-term solution to this.
In general, there's a lot of interest in you,
Okay.
as you know.
Actually, I only found out after the fact, to be honest.
Okay, well, I'm gonna show you this because you've seen this. I mean, you're being called badass, a badass defense minister on Twitter. What do you think of that?
I was really shocked at the interest in me, because when I got the job, I'm like, a big responsibility. I can't mess this up. So I was so focused on the job, but you know what? I really get a chuckle out of it.
Minister, surely this is one question you can answer me directly. Are you a badass?
No. I would say
you're going to give that up.
My kids, you can just it's my daughter can just say something to me and almost put me to tears.